Why do some relationships fall apart not because of a lack of love, but because of ambition? In Macbeth, Shakespeare presents a couple who begin as partners in every sense of the word. They share the same dreams, the same desires, and the same vision for the future. Yet, by the end of the play, they find themselves isolated from each other, trapped by the very ambition that once united them. More than 400 years later, Shakespeare's warning remains as relevant as ever. At the beginning of the play, Macbeth and Lady Macbeth are remarkably close. When Macbeth learns that he may become king, the first person he confides in is his wife. He calls her his dearest partner of greatness. The phrase is significant. Lady Macbeth is not merely his wife. She is his closest companion and confidant. Together, they pursue a shared ambition. Yet, Shakespeare raises an uncomfortable question. What happens when the pursuit of success becomes more important than the relationship itself? The moment they commit their crime and get the power they wanted, the shift begins. And it doesn't start with a massive blow-up fight. It starts with silence. Suddenly, Macbeth stops consulting his wife. When he plans his next ruthless move, the murder of his friend Banquo, he deliberately keeps her in the dark. He tells her to be innocent of the knowledge. You could argue that he's just trying to protect her. But Shakespeare is showing us something much darker. The deeper Macbeth sinks into his ambition, the more isolated he becomes. The woman who was his dearest partner in killing King Duncan to achieve the throne is slowly rewritten into an outsider in her own life. And that's the tragedy of Lady Macbeth. She sacrificed her peace, her conscience, and her sanity to help him achieve his dream. But once he achieves it, he doesn't seem to need her anymore. There's simply no room left for her in the empire she helped build. What makes it even lonelier is that shared actions don't always mean shared experiences. They committed the same sin, but they break in completely opposite directions. Macbeth hardens his heart. To survive, he turns into a monster, finding that each act of violence gets easier. But Lady Macbeth, she breaks. The guilt she tried so hard to suppress consumes her. We all know the famous sleepwalking scene, her frantically trying to wash imaginary blood off her hands. They are living under the same roof, trapped in the same nightmare, but they are completely untouchable to each other. The most devastating moment in the play isn't a battle. It's when Macbeth is told that his wife is dead. His response is terrifyingly detached. He just sighs and says, "She should have died hereafter." Basically, she should have died sooner or later anyway. This isn't a man who stopped loving his wife because he found someone else. This is a man whose soul has been entirely hollowed out by the pursuit of power. He's so consumed by his own survival that he can't even feel grief for the person who gave him everything. The real tragedy isn't that Lady Macbeth died at the end of the play. It's that they had completely lost each other long before her heart stopped beating. Shakespeare's 400-year-old warning is louder today than ever. the greatest threat to your relationship might not be an enemy, a betrayal, or a fight. Sometimes it's just the quiet, relentless pursuit of success at any cost. Because if you have to lose the person who matters most just to win the crown, what was the point of winning it in the first place?